Good day, DBE learners, and welcome to our next PAT video where we're talking about the all-important task definition. Now, at this point, you know your topic, you know the phases, you know all of that. So let's go and look at what needs to be done. At this point, we've already created our document. We've got a cover page, automatic table of contents, figures, our headings, all of that. And for that matter, we should actually be able to go in to our document that we created. There we go, our phase 1 working document. And we have a table of contents, table of figures, introduction. So there we are with our task definition. Okay, let's go back to our document. So we've put all that in place, and then the next thing we needed to do, and that's why this video is here today, is for the task definition, defining what we are actually going to do. That has to be done in your own words. It's got to be roughly 300 words or half a page in font size 12. Okay, so those are some of the criteria. They also mentioned to us that your description should be added under the heading task definition, which we now have. And it needs to provide a clear statement of the problem, indicate the focus and purpose of your investigation, specify in broad terms how you will approach the task, and identify a realistic target audience for the final report. So when you put in this together, ask yourself the following questions that they have listed there. What is the current situation? What will be the focus and purpose of my investigation? Like, what's the desired outcome, right? How will I go about the investigation considering all the PAT requirements, right? And then who is my target audience? Who is this for? Who are you going to be presenting it to? Now, they do mention at the bottom, they say just keep in mind the fact that in the long term, when choosing your particular opportunity, issue, challenge, whatever it is, you'll need appropriate data and information, including a survey and question or questionnaire, which can be processed using a spreadsheet. And this is why I usually advise Google Forms, because from there I can, once I get all my responses, I can just extract a spreadsheet from that, format that, do what I need to that, and import that into a database. And there they mentioned with the next one, captured and manipulated using queries and reports in a database, because you're going to be using that as well. Now, having said that, let's go and look at maybe one or two examples. Here's one. Now, first things first, when I look at the number of words, I see it's got about 132. So it is a little short. It needs a little more meat, but it's almost, yeah, probably halfway there. So let's see what this one says. Does this one tell me what they're going to be doing? Well, in this PAT, I'll be discussing pollution. Yes, I'll focus on the causes, impacts, advantages, and disadvantages. Learners also talking about the purpose of the investigation. In other words, at the end of the day, they want to find solutions to the problems. Okay, so we've got a focus, we've got that. Let's go and just have a look at the rubric all the way down the document. Let's go, let's see what we can get hold of. There we go, our task definition. So again, you're getting a mark for, have you identified the current situation? What will the focus and purpose be? Now, already we know that that is there. How will I go about doing this? And who's the target audience? So let's continue. Do we have a current situation? Well, we do, because it's talking about the world is filled with pollution, which will impact the lives of generations to come. The problems in our world will lead to a huge disaster that will affect generations to come. That's actually a repetition if drastic changes are not implemented. So this one is a bit iffy for me. I probably won't give this mark because the learner's not adequately describing that. And they're really just repeating themselves. Right? Here you can see the problems in our world lead to a huge disaster which will affect generations to come. The problems in our world will lead to, no man, no. Okay, so you're not going to get that one. Then in this PAT, I'll be getting my information in the form of a questionnaire, survey, spreadsheet, database, and I'll conclude with a website. So as Leonard told me how they're going to go about, yes, I can give them that. They have not indicated who the target audience is, so they won't get those marks. So this will end up getting 2 out of the 4 marks. Here's another one. I've been asked by the Department of Education to discuss the topic Save Our Planet with a discussion on the subtopic pollution and how humans contribute to the problem. Okay. Now, do we know who the target audience is? Yes, we do. The Department of Education. Okay, so the next thing that they're asking is, what will the focus and purpose be? Now, I've already got my target audience, my focus and purpose. Let's read on. There will be problems discussed with solutions. The document will consist of information that will be turned into a spreadsheet, database, PowerPoint presentation. The information will first be gathered and analyzed. Relevant topic. The target of the investigation is to raise awareness about the topic of pollution. Okay, so that just, again, reinforces the target audience. Are they really telling me the focus and purpose, or are they looking at how will I go about the investigation? To me, it seems like they're rather talking about how they'll go about the investigation. They're not indicating really what the focus and purpose will be. I don't see anything like that here. No. And the current situation, we said, not really. So this one will get marks for how you're going to go about doing it and who the target audience is for. Right, and there we go. If you match up with all of that, that's how you'll get the marks for your task definition.